Hi everyone, this is Emily Mercado from Loves to Travel the World Travel Agency. Today we're going to be covering a Universal Studios touring plan. It's a complete one-day itinerary of Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. Okay, as kind of an introduction to what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about the perfect one-day touring plan so that you can outsmart the crowds and get the most out of your experience. And I'm also going to give a pretty comprehensive summary or description of the Universal Pass, Express Pass, arrival and rope drop tips, and how to plan your day to maximize efficiency and to minimize time that you're spending in line. All right, this touring plan will definitely hit on all of these topics and more. And I'll be giving a step-by-step morning and afternoon itinerary so that you can see everything that you want to see and have some time at the end of the day. This particular itinerary is assuming that you're going to be spending one full day at Universal Studios in Florida as opposed to the Universal Studios in Hollywood. Now, I will be giving additional information and some touring tips for all of the Harry Potter fans in your group because Universal Orlando is where the Harry Potter Wizarding World is. All right, so in general about the Universal Studios in Orlando, the resort, the Orlando Resort consists of two theme parks, Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. All right, so these are the two main theme parks. Okay, there's also a water park, which is Volcano Bay, and there's also a shopping, restaurant, and entertainment complex called Universal City Walk Orlando. All right, and then there are also 6 on-site Loews hotels, which give you, if you stay at any one of these resorts, you're going to get some pretty nice perks and some pretty nice advantages, as opposed to like if you're staying outside the theme park, which we're going to cover all of that as well. And there's also a theme park that's expected to open in 2023, so it's 2021 now, so 2 years from now, that's going to be called Epic Universe. Sounds pretty interesting. But so this is basically what Florida's Universal Orlando Resort consists of. Now, the Orlando Universal is actually much larger than Universal Hollywood, which is much smaller. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to focus on Universal Orlando. Now, this particular park covers just about 541 acres of land. So just the sheer size alone naturally lends itself to a lot of walking, the potential for a lot of walking. All right. And well, pre-pandemic at the Universal Orlando welcomed more than 11 million visitors annually. Amazing. Now, the following tour itinerary does focus, as I said before, on Florida's Universal Studios, and the primary attraction here is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley. And there is time built into this particular itinerary for you to visit the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So here's the plan. Here's the thing for this plan. Touring plans in general make it very easy for you to maximize your experience on pretty much every level. And the outline of this particular touring plan is the order that you should visit the rides, the order in which the rides and attractions should be visited. Now, this particular plan will allow you to enjoy the top experiences in the park. And it was created for those who are planning to visit for one day. Now, you can in theory break this plan up into a couple of days, so that you're not doing quite so much. But this plan is definitely doable if you're planning to spend the whole day. And like I said, you can still use this plan if you're going to be in the area for a couple of days. You can break it up a little bit so that you're not doing quite so much. And this plan also assumes that you are entering the park right when they open and staying well into the evening. It does make for a long day, especially if you have little ones. Well, even if you're adults, it does make for a long day. But with a little planning, you can definitely maximize your time. And finally, this particular plan was utilized while staying in one of the 6 hotels on site, where we were granted automatic Universal Express passes. This particular plan can still be used by visitors who don't have the Express Pass, but it'll just take a little bit longer for you to complete the plan. Now, in terms of Universal Studios Florida hours, they're always listed on the website, but it should be noted that the hours do vary by the day, month, and season. But the most current hours are always posted on the Universal website. It is important to check the theme park hours for the day that you plan on visiting so that you can help plan accordingly. Because the hours might be different, or there might be some changes that you might not be aware of. The theme park hours calendar also includes information on what days specifically offer early park admission, and there's also a listing of any attractions that might be temporarily closed. And this is definitely helpful, because if there's a particular attraction that you want to see that's closed, you kind of need to know that before you get to the park, so that you can plan accordingly. Now, early park admission is a free perk when you book a Universal Vacation Package, or when you stay at a resort hotel, or if you use your preferred or premier annual pass. That is something that is a free perk, and it definitely is very useful when you're trying to do a lot in only one day. All right, and this early park admission allows you entry into a designated Universal Park 1 hour before scheduled opening, really only on select days, but there are a couple of days, within the week that are offered. And an additional tip, the Universal and City Walk hours and daily show times aren't released until about 1 calendar month in advance. All right. So if you're looking to go in August, then you want to start looking for that calendar in July. All right. And it's definitely very helpful for you to kind of help plan out your trip and kind of make your final plans. Now, the crowd calendar. This is definitely something that you want to keep a very, 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 very close eye on, because this crowd calendar tells you when the parks are going to be the busiest. All right. Now, this particular itinerary assumes moderate to high crowds at the park, when lines are longer than normal. So it is possible to do this itinerary even during peak times. Now, this exact plan, like I said, was utilized when the crowds were rated 9 out of 10 according to touring plans. Now, basically, the higher the number, the busier it is. All right, so no matter when you visit, this particular one-day Universal Orlando touring plan is optimized and ordered so that walking and waiting in lines are minimal. You are going to have to walk, and you are probably going to have to wait in some lines, but it's drastically reduced. All right, so now the Universal Studios Express Pass. All right, now when the crowd calendar predicts moderate to high crowds, of course, the lines are going to be longer, and it can be draining and time consuming. So to help offset the time spent in line, Universal Studios does allow you to add the Universal Express access to your admission. All right. What this is, it's an all-day pass that allows you to skip the regular lines and use a special Express Pass line at select Universal attractions. Not every attraction will honor the Express Pass, but there are a fair number of Express Pass attractions. Now, if you are staying on site at one of Universal's premier resort hotels, this Universal Express Unlimited is free every day of your visit. It is not an additional charge if you're staying at the resort. In this case, your key card will serve as your Universal Express Pass. If you're not staying on site and you do wish to purchase one, the cost does vary by day and expected crowds. Naturally, at peak times, it is a higher price because you are paying for something to help skip the lines. Okay. As always, just like the hours, the current prices for the Express Pass is on the Universal Orlando Resort website. Now, it is important to note that this Express Pass is separate from regular admission, and you must purchase both a Universal Park base ticket along with an Express Pass add-on. But just as a reminder, if you are staying in an on-site hotel, Universal Express Unlimited is free. Okay, and it is easiest to purchase if you are going to purchase this pass. It is easiest to purchase it online, but you can buy it at any of the entrance gates and also throughout the parks. So here's a little bit of an introduction to the plan. My suggestion would be before arrival to download the official Universal Orlando app, available on both iPhone and Android platforms. And the nice thing about this app is that it provides an interactive park map so that you can kind of keep track of where you are in relation to the park. And you can also get access to wait times, and you can set alerts for various wait times. It also provides you with show times if you want to see a particular show. All of the show times are listed. You can also order food and drink through the mobile app at select restaurants. And there's also a virtual wallet where you can purchase and store tickets and your Express Passes as well. And just as a reminder, on site, if you're staying on site, it's your key card. But if you're not staying on site, you get a paper ticket. And you can have a virtual line experience selection queue. All right. So all of these things come with the app. Now, the virtual line program allows you to use your phone app to make a reservation for your entire travel party. You can visit Race Through New York, featuring Jimmy Fallon, and also Fast and Furious Supercharged. Now, at whatever time you selected, you simply show up, show your phone, show the reservation, and then you're going to be admitted to the building. Now, here's the catch. This virtual line experience only works if you are physically inside the park. The moment you leave the park, that particular portion of the app will not work. You can only reserve one ride at a time, and you cannot add other attractions until the previous ride time has passed. Now, when you get there, arrival, this is the entry gates right here. When you get there, there are public and transportation structures, 2 huge multi-story parking lots, and a centralized transportation hub. These structures allow access to Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, City Walk, and Volcano Bay. All right, the parking structures open 2 hours before the official park opening, just basically to accommodate those eligible for early park admission. Now, in order to park in these structures, it's $26 a day for regular self-parking, and then $30 a day for prime parking. Because I do like to lay everything out on the table and just make sure that you guys are getting the most information, that you can make the most informed decisions for you and your family and for your budget as well. Now, if you are driving to the resort and if you are not eligible for early park admission, I recommend getting to the Universal parking garage 60 minutes prior to official opening. All right, it takes approximately 15 minutes to walk from the parking garage to the entrance turnstiles, which gets you to the entrance about 45 minutes before the official opening. And you just want to make sure that you're getting a really good spot in line, really before the crowds and the lines build up. Alternatively, Universal Orlando does offer on-site resort transportation to the parks via water taxis and shuttles that begin 1 hour before early park admission. If you are staying on site during peak periods, you can catch the first ride of the morning in order to be the first into the Wizarding World during the early entry period. An additional tip, I had stated earlier I think in another video about what to bring to Universal, they do have a very strict locker policy, and personal belongings are not, excuse me, personal belongings are not allowed on the rides. And for more information on that, you can refer back to the Universal Studios Day Bag video. So, entering the park. Of course, you have Despicable Me and the Minions. At the time of this video, Universal is not requiring advanced reservations to get into the Orlando theme parks. But of course, with things changing so much, things could change by the time you see this video. So always check with the park just to be sure. Right now, because of the pandemic, parks are operating below maximum capacity. So when they get to to that certain maximum capacity, guests will be turned away. All right. However, if you are staying at one of the Universal resorts, you will still be granted park access even when parks have reached capacity. All right. Now, I do very strongly recommend getting to the entry turnstiles about 45 minutes prior to the park opening, especially on projected busy days. And the park opening is referred to as the rope drop. All right, which basically involves getting to Universal before it opens for the day, and you can be among the very first guests to enter the park on that given day. This is the single most important key to an efficient touring plan, and this is what we did. And just basically to avoid long lines, and basically no lines mean fewer people. Fewer people mean shorter lines. All right. Now the same for rides that you would experience in the very first hour of park opening will take you about 3 hours to accomplish if you're arriving anytime after 10:30. So it definitely pays to get up and get there early. Now, an additional tip, something to keep in mind, the gates do open 30 minutes early when early park admission isn't offered. Right? And guests will be restricted to the front of the area where Despicable Me and Minion Mayhem often opens to all guests about 10 to 15 minutes before the official opening. Okay? Now on to the actual plan. Universal Studios touring plan, morning. All right, so upon entering the park, you're going to use the Universal app to grab a virtual line return times for Jimmy Fallon, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m., and then Fast and Furious from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. Now, I had selected these times based on an 8 a.m. early park admission start time, and that's kind of how I came to those, selecting those times. Now, once the park is open, you're going to walk directly to the Harry Potter area without stopping. Without stopping, you do not pass go, do not collect $200, go directly to the Harry Potter area. If you want to experience the Wizarding World without the crowds, you're going to arrive before everyone else. There really is no other way, because that's probably one of the most, if not the most popular area of Universal. All right, you're going to arrive at Diagon Alley, and you're going to want to take it all in. Browse the shops, enjoy the quiet atmosphere, and really get a lay of the land, really before everyone else gets there. And then once everyone else gets there, once the crowds start building, you are going to want to use the Express Pass that you have to hop on all of the Harry Potter themed rides. So in terms of the morning itinerary, I very strongly recommend visiting these rides pretty much immediately upon opening, because these rides typically experience the longest wait times if they're not done right away. Now, you're going to want to visit these attractions in this exact order to decrease time zigzagging around the park. Now, notes, rides with EP in parentheses listed after their name denote that particular ride qualifies for Express Pass. All right, so you're going to want to go on Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. That's an EP one. Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem. Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. Transformers, the ride 3D. So as you can see, all of these ones so far do have the Express Pass. The Revenge of the Mummy. Race Through New York, starring Jimmy Fallon. Fast and Furious Supercharged. And so these are the ones that you want to visit right away, and they all have the EP listed after them. Now, an additional planning tip: this plan assumes that you're using a child swap, which allows parents to swap supervising a child who doesn't meet the height requirement without waiting in line twice. All right. If you do use the child swap, however, your day will move more slowly, as you have to wait for two people to ride each ride. So this is the morning itinerary. These are the rides that you're going to want to go on immediately in the morning. Now for the afternoon, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. The horror and makeup show, it's 25 minutes, and you're going to want to check show times on the Universal app. Shrek 4D, which is a 45-minute show. It is a separate theater for those with Express Pass. E.T. Adventure, Express Pass again. Woody Woodpecker's Nuthouse Coaster, and Animal Actors on Location. It's about 20 minutes, and you can check show times on the Universal app. The Simpsons Ride. Kang and Kudo's Twirl and Hurl. Men in Black Alien Attack. Fear Factor Live, which is a 20-minute show, and you're going to want to check show times on the Universal app. And then you can browse the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley again, and make sure that you try a butterbeer, both cold and frozen. It is non-alcoholic, so that is a good thing. And you're going to next try the Hogwarts Express. It is an EP ride, just as all of these rides are, if you have a park-to-park pass. And you can also watch Universal Orlando's Cinematic Celebration or other seasonal evening entertainments. Now, there are set times, and you can check the app for show times. And you can also check out the newly added 26-minute long Bourne Stuntacular show, which has live and digital imagery. Now, kind of for a disclaimer, there are flashing lights, and there are going to be loud, unexpected sounds. So, for those of you who are sensitive to loud sounds, or like if you have something that's triggered by flashing lights, exercise a bit of caution with this. All right. So as you can see, a lot of these shows and rides do have the Express Pass attached to them. Now, Universal Studios dining. It's always a challenge to figure out where you want to eat. Okay. My top tip would be to skip the typical hot dogs and chicken tenders and really go for something unique that's exclusive to Universal Studios. You can find hot dogs and chicken tenders anywhere, but do something unique, do something different. In my opinion, the best itinerary includes eating at a themed restaurant like the Leaky Cauldron in Diagon Alley. It's a traditional British food, and it is a Harry Potter pub themed atmosphere. All right. Now, if you are in a dining plan, it is an added level of convenience, and it can save you a good bit of money as well. And you can also have a quick service dining plan, which can be purchased at the register. It includes a quick service meal, which includes an entree and a drink, and also a snack. And you can make online reservations ahead of time for full service restaurants. And the Universal City Walk, where you can avoid lines, especially during the busy season. So again, you're maximizing your time. You're getting a good food, healthy food that's unique to Universal Orlando. And of course, if you want more Harry Potter fun, definitely Universal Studios Orlando's is a must-do if you are a Harry Potter fan. And you're not going to be disappointed by all the immersive theming of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It's definitely a must-do. Even if you're not really into Harry Potter, it's definitely a very unique experience that you can have that you're not going to get anywhere else. And you do want to add additional time into the touring plan in order to really fully enjoy this. So I would suggest even maybe coming back and spending an entire day or maybe half a day in addition to the touring plan, just so that you can really get the maximum enjoyment out of this. Experiences here includes Diagon Alley at Universal Studios Florida, and also Hogsmeade at Islands of Adventure. It's definitely, you actually do have to buy a park-to-park ticket to be able to visit both parts of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in one day. Because there's a Diagon Alley, like I said, at Universal Studios, and Hogsmeade in the Islands of Adventure. So you are going to need to buy park tickets to both of those parks. And you want to also make sure that you're going to include a stop inside the famous Ollivander's wand shop, either in Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley, where you can purchase both standard and interactive wizarding wands, where you can also participate in a wand fitting demonstration. All right, there is a sensor in the tip of the wands where you can perform 25 spells throughout Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade. Now you can also be on the lookout for gold medallions along the walkways to signal when you can cast the spells. And you can also light the chandelier in the window at Flim Flam's lantern, and you can also repair a suit of armor at the blacksmith shop. So this is really a really interactive, really kind of fun thing that you can do for people of all ages. So as always, thank you for watching. I hope you got a lot out of this video. And if you have any questions, or if you have any feedback, or if you're looking for more information, you can either reach out to me by email, ewarner1978@gmail.com, or you can just leave a comment down in the comment section, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You can also visit our website, www.lovetotraveltheworld.com, or you can also reach out to me, through any one of my social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Yelp, or YouTube. Thanks again for watching, and I'm looking forward to helping you plan your next best trip to Universal Studios. Have a good day, everyone.